What's up? It's your girl Serena Marie and I am back. It's been over a month, probably, maybe a month since I posted my last video. Yo.
You getting ready to leave?
No, I'm filming.
After how long?
This video should be my book to movie comparison about The Daughter. The Lost Daughter is the name of it. That is not what this video is, and that video honestly should have been up last month, but that will actually be posted Thursday. I think I'm gonna post that on Thursday. So instead of that, today we're going to be talking about my apartment hunting process and experience. So the reason why I've been so MIA for the dozen of you who watch my videos regularly, hey, I've been gone because February was just such a busy month. I moved, which is what this video is about. I passed my licensing exam, so I'm officially a licensed marriage and family therapist. And I also turned 29. My birthday was last month, which is wild. Wild. Another story for another day. But today, let's get into finding an apartment in San Francisco. So this process has taken longer than I've expected, but that has honestly been a blessing, which I'll save that part for the end because that's a spoiler anyway. So for those of you who don't know, I was living in London for about a year, from 2020 to 2021. Anyway, so I moved to London October 2020, stayed there for 6 months, came back to the US for 2, went back for another 6, returned to America in November, I think, of 2021. If that math adds up. So I was gone for a minute. I moved out of the house that I have with my brother in Daly City. And when I came back, I decided that I wanted my own place. And so I did need to move in with my sister in the meantime while I was looking here in the Bay Area. But in my mind, it would be quick, and it was not. I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't. So a little bit about what I was looking for in my apartment hunt. So as I said, I wanted to be in San Francisco. I'm from San Francisco, wanted to be back in the city, which meant that my budget was pretty high. If you're not from San Francisco or California in general, then you're going to think the prices that I'm listing are ridiculous, but these are San Francisco prices. So don't come at me in the comments talking about how I can get a mansion in Delaware for the price that I'm renting this apartment for. Anyway, so some necessities. I only had 3. Again, in San Francisco, maybe 4. In San Francisco, close to public transportation because I don't drive. So I just wanted to be as close to a bus that could get me to BART as possible, or as close to a BART station as possible. I wanted hardwood floors. Oh, are there more things? I wanted hardwood floors just because carpeting is gross. And I'm clumsy, so in order to not lose my security deposit, hardwood floors. I wanted a separate kitchen. And if it could fit a little table, that would be even better. I was looking for studio apartments, and so some sort of separate kitchen just so there was a division of space and I didn't feel like my one room was my entire apartment. That was what I was looking for, as well as something around $1,500 a month. Especially a lot of the places I saw didn't have utilities included, and so staying under that would have been better, but it's San Francisco and that really wasn't possible. So what is that? In San Francisco, close to BART, hardwood floors, separate kitchen, budget. What else did I say? Those are my 5 things. I didn't feel like I was asking for much, but apparently I was. And the first being the budget. It was hard to come by. When I came back in November and started looking, there were still some places that had deals for like a few months free because people weren't really moving to the city, but those were not in the best areas. So if you're not familiar with the Tenderloin in San Francisco houses a lot of nonprofits and resources for people experiencing homelessness. And so there are a lot of people experiencing homelessness in that area. Yeah, I want to be as PC as possible in talking about the TL, but it's just not the safest neighborhood for a single woman to be living, probably. And so I did not want to live in the TL, but I knew for my budget, I would probably be in that vicinity. So yeah, it is close to public transportation, which is nice. But it wasn't, what I wanted necessarily. So I can't remember all the prices. I'm gonna put clips of the apartments that I saw that I still have the video for. I'll show you. So let's start with apartment number 1, shall we? Apartment number 1 was in the TL. I think this one was on Post near Van Ness. And the pictures were cute. What I liked about it was the kitchen was really big. What I didn't like about it was that the kitchen did not have a full-size refrigerator. So it only had a mini fridge, which I didn't record. The bathroom was small, but it was cute. Unfortunately, the window that you see faces an alley. And as I looked out of the window, I could see people like hanging out back there. And I think this was only like the 3rd floor. So you could hear people if they were back in the alley. So as soon as I kind of stepped into this one, it was a no for me. It was in my budget, but it just wasn't a great location. So apartment number 2 was on Geary, maybe like Geary and Powell. Geary and Jones, which is still the Tenderloin, but it was a much better building. It's near a lot of hotels, so they have security who kind of like keep the street a little cleaner, a little nicer because there's so many tourists. And so the building itself was better than the first one. The tiles in the bathroom kill me. You can't see it very much, but the bathroom's not as nice. It is a little bigger. It had this alcove, what do you call it? To the left there, but I didn't record that very well, obviously. And it had a separate kitchen. I could have put a little, oh, there we go, there's the alcove. I could have put my desk there. Anyway, in the kitchen, could have fit a table, probably just a little desk maybe. It was a very old kitchen, not much counter space, but again, the hardwood floors, beautiful bay window there, but it faced other apartments rather than the street. So there wasn't any natural light. Like I wouldn't have seen the sun. There's no view of anything. Like I'm looking out of the window and I'm just staring at apartments. So that wasn't my favorite thing, but it was, it had the hardwood floors, it was pretty big, and a separate kitchen. Okay, so apartment number 3 was in the same building as this one, which was nice. It had a really deep closet, but not actually much railing in it. So yeah, not a lot of storage, honestly. This, again, all 3 of these were studios. This one was more updated, so newer hardwood floors, huge windows, a view onto the street, so it got some natural light. But the kitchen was small. The kitchen is tiny. Like there is no counter space. Like there's one counter. I mean, it was separate, so can I be mad? Yes, okay. So that's that apartment. It was very small, literally just the box. This next one, apartment number 4. So I saw 2 apartments in this building. This building was technically Lower Nob Hill, which sits in between the TL, Nob Hill, Lower Nob Hill. It's what bougie people want to call it so that they don't have to call it the TL, basically. It was on a cuter block, 1 street up from, this was like almost California and Leavenworth. It was on Leavenworth, California, and California is just a really cute street. There's a cable car, Grace Cathedral, views, like lovely neighborhood. I walked into this one. This first one faced the back of the building, so it was a little dark, but it was cute. Had a separate kitchen. Oh, the green countertop in the bathroom killed me. But it was, you know, it did what it needed to do. But when I walked into the second unit that I saw in that building, I was like, this is it. This is the one. I definitely like that it's facing the front more. Again, the bay window, which is, if you're in San Francisco, a bay window is just classic SF Victorian style. I liked the color of the walls a little bit better. The blue just made it feel brighter than the tan that was on the other building. I mean, the other unit. Still had the separate kitchen. It was basically the same layout as the first one, but just a different color. The fixtures are a little different, and again, the window, but it was lovely. Again, the bathroom, the sink had that green thing, but what can you do? Not my favorite. There's not a mirror above the sink, but it was on the wall beside it, which was a little awkward, but quirky things do quirky things. I was on Craigslist still looking for apartments, and I came across some really affordable ones in Oakland, which I was trying to open myself up to moving out of San Francisco because I could probably find something a little more affordable, slightly more affordable. But the truth of the matter is, if you're close to a BART station, the prices are gonna be expensive. Like if you're in Oakland and you're in walking distance of a BART station, you're going to be paying as much as you would for an apartment in San Francisco. So if not more, like, no, not more, but they're just pricey. These things are expensive. Anyway, so I went to go view a few units in Oakland. This was not, it was technically in walking distance of a BART station, but that's like a 20-minute walk. So yeah, in Oakland, they had a really steep discount. They were doing a few months free in these units, but I think they like prorated, is that the word for it? So it applied across each month rather than just having a month for free. So some of these, I think it ranged from like $1,200 a month to $1,400 a month for these apartments. So this first one, I believe, was the most affordable and the smallest. I'll just let you see it. This was one that was $1,200. Not really much living space and not a separate kitchen, but it was cheap. So the second one has a wall. It's a studio, but it has a kind of wall division, so you can put a bed there and have a separate eating and dining space. That's my mom. And it had a dishwasher. Love dishwasher. And then there was one more studio in this kind of residential whatever in the same area that was just the open space. It did not have that wall divider. The bathroom was giving Kaiser Permanente, but what can you do? Again, under $1,400, I think, or under $1,500. No dishwasher in this one. The area again was really cute. I don't know. I'm gonna do a part 2. Okay, I don't want to tell you which one I chose yet. If you want to guess down below which one I chose, go ahead and do that. And I will see you next Monday to reveal which apartment I chose. So exciting. I'll see you there.